everybody, welcome back to Skill Check. I'm your host, Dave Garrett, and I'm joined with Colin. And we're going to be going over Thousand Suns. First up, we're going to be talking about the Army Rule Cabal of Sorcery. Basically what it is you get Cabal points for every model in your army, or every unit in your army, I should say. And characters normally generate a few more than normal guys, and you use them during your battle round to do these effects when it's that timing. Each one has their own timing and everything like that. So we're going to go through those. The first one, Weaver of Fates. 2 Cabal points. Use this ritual to start of any phase once during that phase. When a saving throw is failed by a friendly Thousand Suns model within 18 inches of this Psyker, so you pick a model, they do this, you can reroll that saving throw. Very powerful for 2 Cabal points. Very good just because you normally have leftover ones. Next up is Temporal Surge. This allows you to double move with a unit within 18 of the Psyker, unless that unit is within engagement range of 1 or more enemy units. You can make a normal move. If it does, they're not eligible to declare a charge this turn. But still really good. This codex has a lot of flavors and a lot of things that you might just double move on turn 1 to get the movement. Next up, Echoes of the Warp. 6 CP, 6 Cabal points, which is also CP.
I was about to say CP, close enough.
Yeah, well, they're both CP.
Yeah.
Cabal points, yep. Use this ritual at the start of any phase. During this phase, Psyker's unit started by a stratagem. It costs 0 CP instead. So, for a stratagem. And you can even use a strat that you've already used this turn. Very powerful. Next up is Doombolt. This one you'll see a lot. It's 7 Cabal points. Roll a d6. On a 1, the enemy unit suffers d3 mortals. On a 2 through 5, they suffer d3 plus 3. And on a 6, they suffer d3 plus 6 mortal wounds. This is just during the shooting phase. It's not an attack or anything. So this gets around things that say you can't be targeted outside of so many inches. It just has to be within line of sight of 18 of the Psyker. And it just happens. So it's very, very, very powerful effect. Next up, Twist of Fate. Select 1 enemy unit within 18 invisible of the Psyker. Until the end of the save, until the end of the phase, armor saves cannot be taken from models in that unit. Unbelievably powerful abilities right here.
Yeah, that last one is just insane.
Yeah, you can only use each one of these once per turn, I believe, is what the stipulation is. Next main phase, each turn users once per phase. You can only use each one of these once per phase. So you can't double up on them outside of a few niche scenarios that we'll talk about later. But these are very, very powerful effects. Moving on to the Detachment Rule. Another very powerful effect. Basically, you get to change all your psychic weapons either to lethal hits, sustained hits, or dev wounds. Every turn. You just pick one of these. They're not one use only, nothing like that. They're just... all their psychic weapons get these. Normally, you're going to end up going with dev wounds, I think, a lot of the time. There's some shenanigans where you can change all the weapons in a unit to dev wounds, which is into psychic attacks, so they all gain dev wounds. Very powerful things you can do here. Next up, we have stratagems. Psychic Dominion. Any phase, after 1 unit from your army is selected as a target of an attack of 1 more of the attacking units. Until the end of the phase, all attacks made against your unit from a psychic weapon have hazardous, and all models in the unit have a 4-up deal no pain against psychic attacks. Very powerful against psychic armies. Just good. Devastating sorcery. Yeah. Like, what? Yeah, you thought you were doing psychic today? Yeah, right.
You thought.
Yeah, you thought wrong. Devastating sorcery. Your shooting phase, 1,000 summons unit from your army selected to shoot this phase. Till the end of the turn, makes a psychic attack. You may reroll hit roll and reroll wound roll. Pretty good. Baseline, it's okay. Magnus and a bunch of really powerful psychers really love this ability. But there's some combos with it later. Destined by Fate. You just get to 0 out damage. You can use this strat twice if you spend the 6 Cabal points and then spend a CP. You can do this in 0, and then you can use that in 0 again. So keep stuff like Magnus and stuff alive. Oh man, I don't know how to say this. Ensorcelled Infusion. Your shooting phase, 1,000 Psyker unit from your army that has not been selected to shoot. Until the end of the phase, all Inferno bolt pistols Infernal Bolt guns, Combi Vultures, and Inferno Combi weapons from that unit become psychic. And our strength characteristic of 5 now. It's very, very, very powerful. We talked about all these psychic buffs, like literally the strat just above this, reroll all fail to hit, all fail to wounds. We talked earlier about, what was the one? You make all of your unit devastating wounds then, if you bring Vultures. It does not work with Warp Flamers, that's the downside. So you can't just bring a unit of Flamers and just get tons of devastating wound rolls. It also makes it strength 5.
I don't know. That unit is just insane as it is right now anyway. Or just all the army abilities are just insane as they are so far.
Yeah, they are all incredible. They're all fantastic. Moving up to the next stratagems, Sorcerer's Might. Your straight phase 1,000 such units that's not been selected to shoot. Add 9 to all psychic weapons equipped by that unit. Again, 1 CP, you can make all those bolt weapons. Extra 9 inch range. And then one of the most powerful ones, but also very, very, very expensive for the army without using Cabal points. 2 CP Warp Sight. 1,000 such units from your army to select to shoot. Is visible to that unit. So you have to have one enemy unit that's visible from another unit in your army, and then this unit gets indirect and ignores cover. Very, very good. With their psychic weapons. So you can't do this with flamers. You can't do like a full combo where you do it with flamers. You have to do it with bolt guns and stuff like that. More fair weapons.
Wait, can't you just make those all... Did I read that right?
No, you can't make you cannot make flamer. You can make everything else flamer except for the flamers. You make everything else psychic other than the flamers.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Moving up, these are all fantastic for the most part of the enhancements. 1,000 Sun Psyker Sorcerer. Bear can select the ritual even though Psyker's already done one, so you get a double up on a ritual in phases. Very powerful. Yeah, incredible. Double Doom Bolting people is very powerful. The Unbethelic Crystal basically just lets you pick up your unit and teleport them 9 inches away. Very strong with flamers. The Athenian Scroll, whatever. Battlefield, generate 1 extra Cabal point. It's pretty underwhelming until you realize how powerful those Cabal points are. And there's some units that you can hide in the backfield and just use them as a battery, basically. I think it's good. I think it has play. It's pretty cheap. And the last one is add 1 strength and damage characteristics to all psychic weapons the bearer has. This is very good on a few. I believe the Infernal Master has 2d6 shots at a good strength and good AP, so this is just a good addition. Moving up to AHRIMAN. AHRIMAN is on disc or on foot. I believe it's like a 5-point difference to gain that movement, so you'll basically always take it. And they're identical. They're literally fully identical. You cannot bring them both. So you gotta pick which one you like more. So save the 5 points every once in a while. While this model's leading unit, models in that unit add 1 to the wound roll. Period. That's it. It just adds 1 to the wound roll. Once per battle, he can use a ritual for 0 Cabal points. So, double Doom Bolt's pretty easy, even if you don't have a lot of Psychers. Like we just said, AHRIMAN on disc, he moves a whole 4 inches farther for 5 points. Seems good. And he gets a few... he doesn't even get disc attacks anymore. But the big thing is he also just generates 3 Cabal points by himself. So he's just a very cheap, efficient model. He's like 115 points, I believe, on disc. So you would probably just bring him just for the extra points. And he also just gives +1 to wound. Who doesn't love it? 1,000 Sun... Wait, well, I guess we're just jumping into 1,000 Suns Lander. I guess that's just the first thing that pops up. This is okay. It's cute. I don't think you're really as worried about getting into melees as a lot of other armies. You're more of a shooting psychic army. 1,000 Suns Predator Annihilator. These all are pretty okay. They're nothing to write home about. They do the same thing as every Predator. Yep, they're the same as every other Predator. They don't give Cabal points though or anything. Rhino. It's a Rhino. It has self-repair. It does not have firing deck. Boo-hoo. Everybody cries. Spawn, also the same. We're just going to breeze right through a lot of these units that are all the same.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff that we've already covered.
Yeah, we've covered this in multiple videos. If you really want to know, you can go ahead and look at the data sheets I'm scrolling by on screen, just so you can see them. 1,000 Suns Defiler, still pretty terrible. It has a little bit more play now that you can remove armor saves and stuff. It's not the worst, but it's also not any better than any other Defiler, I would say. Exalted Sorcerer. Arcane Shield. Just give a 4-up invulnerable save to his unit. This guy also... We're not going to cover their war gear necessarily. Most of them can take a Work Flame Pistol. That's Strength 3 Flamer, AP 1. Or just basically all the typical war gear that they all can take. But we are going to talk about their psychic weapons, because they do change normally. So this guy has Astral Blast, Blast, Devastating Wounds, Psychic, D6 shots, Ballistic Skill 2+, Strength 6, AP 2, Damage D3. And if in your command phase, this model is leading a unit, roll a D6. On a 1, it suffers D3 mortal wounds. On 2 through 5, return 1 bodyguard. And on a 6, return 2 destroyed bodyguard. He's cute. He's still not my favorite. He doesn't really do anything that a lot of the other sorcerers do as well. That we'll talk about later. Exalted Lord on disc. He does the exact same things, except for he has the exact same everything except for his weapon has Torrent instead of Blast. Same strength, same damage. I believe it's 12 extra inch range. No, same range. And then he gets to add. Wait. D3 mortal wounds 2+. The unit starts with your next movement phase. Oh, okay. You have charge advance rolls for an enemy unit. It's okay. He's nothing to write home about. Forge Fiends are pretty good this edition, a lot of people think, so if you like them, I like them. I think they're okay. These ones do not have the Devastating Wound ability, so I like them less than the normal CSM ones and other faction ones, but they do, in response, in your shooting phase after this model has shot, one either is hit by one or one of these weapons, suppress, so they just subtract 1 from the hit roll. Seems fine. This Dreadnought, each time friendly Psyker unit with a 9 of this model is selected to use a ritual, you gain a Cabal point. So he just refunds a little bit of Cabal points. Nothing crazy. Helldrake is a Helldrake. They're fine. Moving on to the Infernal Master, though. I like this guy a lot. He's got 2d6, 2d3 attacks normally with Torrent, or 2d6 if you go for the Hazardous Torrent. Very good at Strength 6, AP 2, 1 damage. Pop that +1 strength and +1 damage. And man, this thing picks up units. He gives his unit sustained hits. Weird, because he only has a pistol and then this attack that doesn't roll to hit. It's a kind of a non-bow. Once per turn, you can change a hit, wound, or damage roll to unmodified roll of a 6. Or saving throw. Yeah, saving throw. Pretty good.
Isn't the hazardous rule with characters different than the hazardous rule with
if you roll 1, you take 3 mortal wounds if you're a character, monster, or vehicle.
I think you just always go with the hazardous for the master.
You always basically will go hazardous on almost every attack. That is normally they're always worth it. They're always such a big bump in everything. It's kind of just worth it. Yep. Magnus the Red is an absolute terror actually. Because you can pop the strat and then pop 6 Cabal points. And you can zero out 2 instances of damage after you fail. Very powerful. You can reroll. He just is tanky. He just is large and tanky. He gives -1 damage characteristic to everybody within what is the range? 6 inches. He can also make all ranged weapons hazardous for psychic users that aren't him. And then you can add 2 move characters to your army. You're really going to be using that subtract 1 damage, I think, almost all the time. Because it's just such a powerful ability. And then he adds 1 to hit and to wound for all psychic attacks. Combo that with the reroll all failed to hit and wound from earlier. And he is pumping out damage with a bunch of T-Suns. And making them very durable. Moving on to the 1,000 Suns Mauler Fiend. It's a Mauler Fiend. It's a Mauler Fiend. Mutalith Vortex Beast. This thing has been seen so few times on the table before this, but now this thing's awesome. It has 3 different profiles that are all good. It's got Flamethrower, Beam that's got Devastating Wound that's like D6 plus 6 damage. And it's got Blast profile that's like Strength 9, AP 2, 2 damage. It's got a bunch of attacks in melee, good attacks. And then he also lets you double the range of all of your rituals. So, it helps out a lot. And he also just has, in the move phase, just does AoE mortals within 6. He's just good. Talking about the bread and butter of the Rubric Marines, they are just good. They reroll wound ones to wound naturally. If you're on objective, they reroll all failed wounds. Very, very, very powerful. They basically, you're either going to take them all flamers or all bolters. You might bring the Soul Reaper Cannon with the bolters, but normally you want to make them all psychic for these strats and stuff. So it's kind of a coin flip if you actually want to bring that or not. Like I said, the 4 flamers can't be psychic, so not as good as, or not as situationally good as the bolters, but are better on average without any buffs. So you'll probably take a mix of all bolters, all flamers. SCARAB Occult Terminators. These are pretty good. While they're being led by a Sorcerer, I believe the Sorcerer in the unit does still count. Yep, Chaos Cabal Sorcerer. Or Psyker model. As the leader is alive, you still get subtract 1 from the win roll if they're higher strength than your toughness. Very good. Very powerful abilities. These guys are pretty expensive. Do have a pretty good output and melee, so I would say don't sleep on them too much. But yeah. Thousand Suns Sorcerer. This guy gives lethal hits and one of the best abilities in the entire codex. While this ball is leading a unit, they cannot be selected as a target from ranged attacks outside of 18 inches. So if you just shove one of these guys in every unit, nobody can touch them. Unless they move within 18. So it gives you a lot more play with your shorter range, bolt gun based army. That a lot of people just can't interact with you until they're up close. At least your infantry, that is. Very powerful ability, though. Thousand Suns Sorcerer in Terminator armor. Gives lethal hits. And then in your shield phase, you can select one unit with an 18 visible to this until the end of the turn. Each time a friendly Thousand Suns model makes an attack against it. Reroll hit rolls of 1. Also good. Thousand Suns Cultists. You guys will bring these in spades, I feel like. Each time this unit is destroyed, roll a d6 on a 2+, you gain 1 CP. I don't know why it's here twice, though. She's destroyed.
Yeah, I was about to say, do you get
No. It should just be 1 CP no matter what. I think this is literally just a typo.
Wait, no. Each time this unit destroys an enemy unit, roll 1d6. When this unit is destroyed, there we go.
See.
That's
when
what it
they
is.
destroy a unit. Okay, cool. Yeah. You're probably not destroying units with cultists. I got bad news for you guys. Thousand Suns Demon Prince. This guy is kind of cute. Once per battle, after the start, friendly Rubric Marines or SCARAB Occult Terminators within 6. They gain precision. So you can go ahead and try to snipe out a character in one turn if you're really trying to dump a lot of strats and stuff. While within 6, everybody gains the stealth ability. Stealth is okay. You're pretty much going to be untargetable outside of 18 anyway, so you might just not worry about it too much. The one with wings, so we'll go over his first ability. Each time this model ends normal move, roll 96 for each 6. The unit suffers 1 mortal wound. It's like weird impact hits. At the end of your opponent's turn, if this model is not within engagement range of any model, remove from the battlefield, and then you can deep strike the fall. It's not the falling. Set up anywhere on the battle. Reinforce 7. Yeah, it is during your next movement phase. You can deep strike him effectively. TZAANGOR Enlightened. These guys have been mediocre since day 1, I believe. They're not the best. I can't remember. Are these the battle line ones or are these the elite ones?
These are the elite ones.
These are the elite ones? Did we talk about normal TZAANGORs? No, they're down farther. Okay. So these guys are 2 wounds. They can also teleport. They have a 5-up save and a 6-up invuln. They're okay. They're nothing crazy. The 2 wounds is cute. TZAANGOR Shaman gives you a Cabal point. They're very cheap. He also gives you, he's leading a 5-up Feel No Pain. Could be good with the Enlightened. Each time the model in the unit makes an attack, add 1 to the hit roll. He's okay. Normal TZAANGORs are the battle line infantry. They give a Cabal point on a 4+. They reroll failed battle shock reroll battle shock. For the bearer's unit, they reroll battle shock. And you can reroll advance and charges, advance and charges. They're not great. They're a 6-up save with a 6-up invuln, 1 wound. Hit on 4s, strength 4, AP 0. They're not great. Am I? Oh, sorry. The TZAANGOR Enlightened. I thought these were the foot guys, but I guess those are AOS only. These are the guys on discs that are move 10. I want to talk about these real fast. They're like 45 points for 3 models.
Yep.
They're just cheap. They're just
They're
very
very
cheap
cheap.
and fast. So you might bring them just for the fact that you you're just gonna bring them to do actions and stuff. You might just bring them just because.
Just action monkeys as well as objective holders. So.
Yep, they're just fine. They're perfectly fine. There is tons of combos you can do in this faction. There's just so many powerful abilities. Like, even if you're bringing 10 dudes with bolters, their bolters are slightly different. They're AP1, faction-wide. There's AP1, Strength 4, but they're always 2 shots, I believe. Yep, they're always 2 shots. They're never rapid fire, just always 2 shots. You throw in all these guys that like make it so you can't be targeted outside of 18. You bring who's AHRIMAN to give +1 to wound to a bolter squad. Make him psychic, give him the rerolls, make him indirect, and oh my gosh, you have an absolute terror of a unit.
Sounds pretty good. I mean, Thousand Suns just seem solid. They have very strong abilities all the way throughout the board.
Yeah, they have very strong stats, like decent stats above everybody. They're pretty cheap, relevantly. And they have these crazy powerful Cabal abilities that absolutely just destroy some things that your opponents will try to do. I think they're great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you all. This was Thousand Suns. Make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next one.